brothers and sisters, was another rock and roll classic coming to you courtesy of DJ Ricks on this fine afternoon. Weatherman says there's a storm coming our way to spoil the fun. So batten down the hatches and snuggle up under the blanket with the one you love, cause it's gonna be a rough ride. And speaking of rough rides, we got another dedication going out to my man with the plan, Murphy Pendleton. Somebody out there has got an eye on you, MP, so watch your back and keep it on track. Hey man, come on in. Got a disc spinning right now, so you ain't interrupting nothing. Man, you look like you just saw a ghost or something. You alright?
Not really, no.
Good to hear. So what can DJ Bobby Ricks do for you?
Murphy Pendleton?
Like I was saying, what can DJ Bobby Ricks do for you, Murphy? Got a track you want to play, or?
I'm the guy you've been putting out the dedications for. I got the message. I came to find you.
Afraid you got the wrong man, Murphy. I don't know what you're talking about. But if there's a song you want to hear or a dedication you want to make, I could. You're listening to the DJ Rick Show on WLMN-FM, where the tracks are tight and the sweet melodies flow on and on. It's always a perfect day with DJ Ricks, your on-air friend to the end.
Look, man, I came through hell and high water to get here because you called me. Now cut the bullshit, because I don't have time for this.
Chill out, man. If you don't keep your voice down, you're gonna get us both in trouble. And you do not want that. You don't know who might be listening. You understand? Thank God someone finally heard me. I can't even tell you how long it's been just spinning record after record after record, hoping someone...
What the hell's going on here, Ricks? What is this place?
Time to explain. If we're gonna get out of here, we gotta move fast. You getting this far tells me we might even have a chance of getting out alive.
What's the plan?
Right. Listen, I got this boat. She's moored down at the marina. She's fast, real fast. Problem is some motherfucker ransacked the studio and checked the keys.
I'll hotwire it. No problem.
That's not gonna work. This place, it does strange shit to reality, man. It's like there's rules you gotta follow. You know what I mean?
Bobby Ricks? Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Who's it going out to? But that's nice of you to think of me. Yeah. Real nice. Thank you. They're coming.
Who?
Doesn't matter. We gotta find those keys. On the silver chain says freedom. You can't... Miss,
Pendleton!
Put the gun down, damn it. We might have a way out of here.
You. I need to use your phone.
Sorry, lady. Calls come in, but don't go out. Just because folks want to be heard, don't mean they're willing to listen. See for yourself.
What the hell's going on around here? No! God!
I'm Solidus-Skully and welcome back to Silent Hill Downpour. Yeah, things are in a bit of a mess since the last time we were here. DJ Ricks is dead, and yeah, he is officially dead, as revealed by the Silent Hill Downpour comics, I believe. The ones that follow Anne Cunningham, but now we're going to be doing things a little bit different. Now we're going to be incorporating side quests into these videos because, for a few reasons. First of which, I'm going to describe the side quest we're doing right now, which is Spot the Difference, which is very self-explanatory. Change a bunch of items in the room and match the stuff that's going on in the mirror, and your reward will be a bunch of health packs and ammunition. Now, part of the reason why I'm incorporating side quests into these videos, it's a bit of a way to kind of mitigate the awkwardness between transitions, because, I mean, I realized that in the attempt to edit around the footage that was screwed up, by my, capture card software and everything, that, I don't know. Again, this isn't really mitigating the problem so much as it is trying to kill two birds with one stone, because I don't know. Again, it's just an attempt to try and add a little bit of content in the place where it's kind of devoid of it, but again, you're not really missing that much. I mean, in the radio station, we're just pouring some petrol onto the clothes. We got some petrol from the storeroom that's right beside Murphy. We light it on fire. And, yeah, let's just say things don't exactly go to plan. In fact, I'm actually not entirely sure what provocates him to do this. Well, I mean, okay, now I remember. Fire exit over there, we can't get it to open until a fire happens, so guess that provocates him to do it. But yeah, back in the other world, time to run away from the swirly-whirly red vortex of death. Now, of course, it's around here where a lot of the prison metaphors begin to get quite heavy. But again, we'll save that as we go on. Anyway, back to the side mission thing. Again, what I'm planning on doing is that, and again, feel free to tell me in the comment section if you disagree with this or whatever, even though I'm pretty sure most people don't watch the Silent Hill commentaries as much as they do for the platformers, judging by Shadow the Hedgehog's warm reception compared to Silent Hill Downpours, but, yeah. You know, if you want to see the side missions in tandem with the game, despite how awkwardly they might be jammed in points, let me know, but if not, then I'll cut them out and save them for a separate video. Probably one where I include the endings. But anyway, back to Silent Hill Downpour. Now, since the vortex seems to be following us wherever we go, we're gonna shut the door, although that doesn't really stop the red vortex, so go backwards, open it up, and keep on running. Now, this doesn't exactly constitute all the other world sequences, as I'm sure you're probably aware from the Devil's Pit variant. However, what it does account for is mostly in terms of, well, just giving you a bunch of abstract and very cool-looking visuals to look at. Like, you can see the upside-down cars. Later on in the part, you'll actually be seeing some more... I'm not really sure what to call it. I think it's probably best for you to see for yourself, but I really do love the visual design in this game, and I think in the Centennial Building especially, you really do get to see some really cool-looking stuff that, while some argue that it isn't exactly horror, it is the sort of imagery that, well, you'd never see anywhere else. I mean, especially in any other Silent Hill game, barring, I suppose, Shattered Memories, but that was a theme dealing mostly with ice, and this here, I think, kind of meets a nice balance between the blood and rust of Silent Hill games of, you know, the stuff that you played in the past, but at the same time having a visual flair of its own, which, you know, is something that I can give it compared to games like Homecoming and Origins and the like. But regardless of such, as I mentioned before, as you can see, there's a lot more bars. I mean, while it does, you know, have a very unique twist on the areas that we've been to before, yeah, prison imagery begins to become a much more greater presence in this game. This is actually also a segment where you can actually miss a lot of the cool hidden Easter egg details, because, I mean, again, I'm sure you've probably seen it before time and time again, but you might notice a figure that's rolling around in a wheelchair. You saw him before in the little window nearby the Devil's Pit stop, and you could see him down here just riding down the hall. It all ties together. Yeah, there he is right there, just having a nice little walk around. Well, walk around, I say, having a bit of a wheel around. Maybe you can meet up with Bentley the Turtle after a game of Parcheesi. Or Zero, possibly, from Metal Gear Solid. Who knows? Anyway, we might get a cameo from Mr. Moify Pendleton himself. I think, if I'm looking at him. I think that might have been what Murphy was referring to. Yeah, prison riots. Always a fun, lovely thing to witness. But yeah, this is pretty much the segment of going, enjoy the ride, Murphy. Okay, this is the part where you see Murphy, I think. This is... I don't remember. Yeah, this is doing funny things to my memory. We're back in the shower room. Murphy, you're getting quite smelly recently, mate. Why don't you have a little bit of a douse-off? Ah, delicious. I have to admit, though, like, I mean, in the past, like, 5 to 10 years of this decade in the 2010s, I kind of would have expected, like, wet clothing effects to kind of get a little bit better than this. I don't know. Well, I mean, we are in the same decade, so I guess I don't expect that much of an improvement, because, I mean, I've been playing the, Resident Evil 2 Remake recently. I actually just got my hands on the game, which is actually quite fun. I'm really having a good time. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with this. Anyway, by the way, those things won't actually crush you. I don't think maybe in the hard mode it might be something different, like similar to Silent Hill 3, but yeah, they won't crush you. That's he'll pretty much stop, like, right at the borderline. So yeah, don't worry about getting crushed. And this also introduces us to a new enemy type, the, I have no idea what these things are called, I guess, like, the squirters, and honestly, for as much as people might criticize Silent Hill Downpour for having some, you know, poor enemy design, this, I think, is actually pretty cool. Like, I mean, it certainly fits a more occultic-themed Silent Hill game, I'll admit, but, you know, as a metaphor for people being tortured and bleeding for their sins, I think it's actually a pretty apt metaphor, and one that, honestly, I think does kind of fit Murphy quite well. Or at least I think it certainly fits him a lot more than the mannequin enemies, and I guess also by extension some of the nurse enemies that the other Silent Hill games tend to force upon the characters, which... I've probably mentioned this beforehand in the previous parts, but yeah, always been a bit weak, symbolically speaking. I mean, save for Harry and Heather, retrospectively, although that has its own... I mean, for Harry and Heather it has more of a basis in reality, and, you know, it's something I can appreciate. I mean, even if the enemy design for the Screamer just over there isn't exactly, you know, that up to snuff in terms of design, it is still something that does have a grounding in psychology, so, yeah, I'm fine with it. But again, I think I already mentioned that beforehand when it comes to Murphy's little, psychological metaphors. And, edit coming up in 3, 2, 1, time for a new side quest. Now, this is called the Scatter the Ashes side quest. I can't quite remember the exact name of it, but yeah. Again, it's nothing major. All we're doing is basically taking a little funeral notice about a woman who's passed away, and we have to scatter her ashes at her chosen spot where she and her lover had first met, had a lovely little date, their first kiss, and we scatter her ashes. Again, no major enemies. In fact, the only thing we really get is a safe combination with some health and ammo, but honestly, doing little side quests like this, it's nothing major and nothing you really have to go out of your way to do, but again, it's really sweet and something that I do think does add a lot of depth and, you know, it adds a lot of personality to the town in a way that a lot of Silent Hill games haven't really delivered. And as I mentioned before, it's the sort of thing which I truly think could have been an evolution on Silent Hill in terms of, you know, how it intertwined the town and the characters, regardless if they're not, you know, interconnected story-wise. You know, which I suppose is part of it, which... hang on, I'm not making a lot of sense, but it's part of the reason which, you know, Silent Hill Downpour does endear me to it so much. It's because, while execution-wise it isn't exactly up to snuff with, say, the Team Silent era games, it's got a lot of ideas to it that I think if Climax Studios were given it... No, not Climax Studios, if Vatra Games were given another chance to really refine the formula and really, you know, focus some of the ideas, you know, we could have had a really good Silent Hill game, but it's not going to happen now. Anyway, with those numbers we shall travel backwards in time, and that's also pretty much the hallway that connects, like, shortly after the Blade hallway with the, this room. But yeah, this is what I mean with, Silent Hill Downpour having some really unique imagery. I really, like, again, it might not strike you as, you know, Silent Hill in the traditional sense, but this stuff is twisted, man, and I just love it. It's so radical. I probably could have described that better, but again, oh, by the way, like, I mean, when you're stepping on this for the first time, you won't fall off. Well, I mean, unless, of course, you fail at the balancing section, obviously, but yeah, you will always land to where you need to go, but, you know, that's just how it works. I don't know, man, it's just a really unique visual set piece, and it makes me smile. Again, Silent Hill Downpour just has a lot of unique imagery, and again, while not traditionally horror, it is a sort of... Was it C.S. Lewis or Lewis Carroll? I kind of forget which. It was the author of Alice in Wonderland, which, you know, was part of the inspiration for the original Silent Hill, so... Again, I think in a very weird way, it feels befitting of Silent Hill's legacy, so to speak. Or at least in terms of being inspired by a lot of different inspirations visually. Again, time puzzles probably isn't exactly Silent Hill's forte, but, you know, it works. Anyway, hunting we will go. And of course we can see the bogeyman up there. Oh no, somebody activated the super happy flun slide. Flun slide? Fun slide, Jesus. Whee! Oh, by the way, make sure not to crash into anything because you will die. And we can see a bunch of different people running. Look, there's Anne, and there's a little kid, I think. God, that was close. Oh, Murphy, this is probably the most dangerous water slide anyone's ever gone on in their entire life. Though then again, I did hear there wasn't like a Silent Hill amusement park like in Universal Studios, I think.
Murphy! Murphy! Where'd you go? Oh, God. Help me. Help! Murphy, run!
Funny place to take a nap, son. You know you could get your death out here, if you're not careful. Got something for you. From St. Maria's, the old orphanage up there on the hill.
No. This can't be right.
Got your name on it, doesn't it? Seems plenty right to me. Of course, you won't know till you open it, will you?
No. Enough of this shit. No. I'm done. I'm finished with the riddles, the mind games. Whatever I did to get here, I've had enough. I want out. Do you understand me? Do ya?
Son, you still don't get it. It doesn't matter what you want. As for me, I got mail to deliver. Goodbye, Murphy.
Well, now we got a letter to St. Maria's Monastery. Where, oh, where could we be? Now, I just wanted to point out in the previous cutscene before Murphy started talking to Howard, that was actually one of the few cutscenes where, in the brief flashes you can see over there, yeah, it's one of the few times you can actually see Murphy's wife, Carol Pendleton, in the game, who, well, I guess I might as well spoil it now, who the Screamer was based on, and if you'll remember that Murphy's son Charlie was killed, yeah, she doesn't exactly have a lot of nice things to say about, good old Murphy Pendleton. Bit of a shame, actually, though, but, again, she does make a reappearance in the game in the form of a letter, and I think I might have mentioned this earlier on, but she does also make an appearance in one of the endings of the game, although she doesn't really have a speaking role. I don't know. But again, most of the rest of this part is basically just us heading off to our next destination. We won't be getting into St. Maria's Monastery good and proper until a bit of the way into the next part, although, again, we also have some side quests to do, which I'll probably intersperse in the video. And like I said before, let me know. If it's too distracting, then I'll cut them out and we'll just go back to having awkward cuts between different parts of the stage. Or, you know, we could keep on doing the side quests, I could commentate on them for a little bit, and just, I guess, do them along with the game. I guess you could probably consider this a sort of, like, interspersal thing if I ever decide to do a game like, say, Batman Arkham City, where, you know, doing a lot of the Riddler trophies or side missions would probably intercut with that as well. I don't know. I'm not thinking about tackling any Batman games anytime soon, but it's always something to think about. I suppose if there's anything else to really talk about in regards to Murphy himself, or I guess even the Centennial Building overall, yeah, that was one of my favourite stages in the game, although coming up now isn't exactly something that's very fun to me. Again, I don't want to say that St. Maria's Monastery is bad as a level. It does have a lot of unique stuff to it and stuff that I do really enjoy, but I guess maybe my biggest problem, and again, we'll probably get into this as we get into the level itself, is that it does have a tendency to drag a little bit, and I feel that symbolically speaking, while at the very end of it, it does have a very strong story point in which is directly related to Murphy himself as a character, for the most part I feel like it is a little bit symbolically weak, and maybe this might have something to do with a little spiel about Anne Cunningham that I'll be talking about in a little bit. But I don't know. I guess I'll save that for the very next part because, well, we have one last cutscene and that'll be the end. So I suppose on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, and unless of course there's some dialogue right at the end, keep it new metal and I will see you next time in the Silent Hill Downpour commentary. Catch you later and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yes. May I help you?
I'm Murphy Pendleton. I received this letter today, but I think there's been a mistake.
Ah, yes. Mr. Pendleton. We've been expecting you. You were the only family we were able to locate. Your presence is very welcome.
Family? No, that can't be. I mean...
Bless you, child. I understand this must be very confusing for you. We've checked the records carefully, and I assure you, there's no mistake. Please, come in.
What the hell?
He died peacefully, and is finally at rest. For that, at least, we can thank the Lord for his mercy. He didn't leave much behind, but his few personal effects are yours to claim.
What happened here? Was there an earthquake?
I'll meet you in the morgue in the East Wing, when you're ready. In the meantime, please feel free to look around. We're pleased that the good Lord has allowed us to carry out his work here at St. Maria's. I'm sure you'll find your visit enlightening.